It's time for you to no longer have any time, because the massive metaphor ReFantazio has launched, and for me it symbolizes a resurgence of the fantasy RPG. Swords, knights, skeletons, spells, dragons, dungeons, and royal hijinks. This new world from Atlus is exactly what fans have been asking for, and it's a big departure from the modern classrooms of Persona and the post-apocalyptic cityscapes of Shin Megami Tensei. The reviews definitely hit, and if you plan on grabbing Metaphor ReFantazio or have already started it, I do have a few suggestions that will make your playthrough even better. So let's get into it. Synthesis skills use 2 or more party members to trigger some of the most powerful abilities you'll gain access to. These require multiple turn charges to activate, but you can gain a huge advantage by using synthesis attacks that hit enemies' weakness, since that actually refunds multiple turn charges back to you. Like in this fight, I just had 2 turn charges left, but I was able to trigger 4 turn charges worth of synthesis skills, since hitting that ice weakness gave me back 2 partial turn charges. Synthesis skills will consume MP from every party member involved though. So in some cases, you might want to use a less MP-hungry character in place of another. However, some archetypes like the Brawler use HP instead of MP to power their abilities. Those will drain health from multiple characters, which is a little riskier obviously, but health is overall easier to earn back in the long run compared to your precious MP. If you toggle over to the Synthesis tab, it'll show you all possible synthesis skills for that equipped archetype. And below that, the team setup you'll need to put together to unlock them. Like if you put together a full warrior team, you'll get the Peerless Stone Cleaver, which gives you access to an early game severe rank physical attack. That can one-shot the higher level Egg Boys, even just your first time through the catacombs. Also, if the Stone Cleaver finishes off the enemy, it'll refund half of a turn charge back. Putting together 3 mages early on, or 2 mages plus a healer or seeker, will give you access to a severe fire attack instead. This summons a massive meteor from the sky that lands precisely just on your target. Don't overthink it, it looked cool. You should increase your wisdom as soon as possible at the start of your playthrough. Early on, you can do this by contemplating life on this bench, or by completing side quests like Help the Hushed Honeybee. Once you get to rank 2 wisdom, you'll be able to purify certain gear at the church, improving its properties. Like the dragon's Indignation Sword, which you can get by fighting that first dragon you come by instead of sneaking past it. If you purify this sword, it'll raise its stats, but also imbue it with the fire element. This even alters its outward appearance to reflect that fire affinity. Love when RPGs get that detailed with individual weapons. This sword will carry you through the game. But this sword will carry you through most of the catacombs, since its melee fire attacks are highly effective here. The slower type of sword that warriors use also has an extra property that can negate getting ambushed during its swings. So if you're kind of struggling with dodging attacks during the real-time action, this type of sword lets you hit through them with some protection from surprise turn-based battles. Another thing you can do after you reach Wisdom level 2 is take on the first quest for Brigitte in front of the Igniter store. After her quest is completed, the Igniter shop will be stocked with new accessories to buy. These are an easy way to gain a multi-targeted elemental magic spell early on in the game. These Igniter accessories are useful to have on you, because you can change which one you have equipped to exploit the area's most common weakness. If you use just a bit of patience and wait till enemies turn their backs to you, the first attack you do on them will drain much more of their bright gauge. This lets you more safely pull enemies into a turn-based fight with an advantage, without having to risk fighting them in real time quite as much. Like your first time through the catacombs, Egg Boys can easily wipe out your entire squad if they manage to pull you into a battle. There are some reasons to stay out in the action combat though, even though it puts you at risk to get ambushed by an enemy attack. Against some enemies, fully depleting their break gauge for the first time can recuperate health and MP for the entire squad. Use your dodge to cancel out of the squad attack indicator, and then you can go back to fighting them in real time. And if there's multiple enemies around, try to break all of their gauges, because they might give you some free recovery. Effectively using the Knight archetype can be the difference between coming out of a fight either barely scratched or ending it defeated as a pulp. Here's what you do. before activating the Knight's Proclamation skill, which draws enemy attacks towards the Knight, use the Formation command to move that character to the back line. Then the Knight will take most all of the next turn's incoming damage, but it'll be highly reduced since they're on the back line. Even better than that, if your teammates gain back extra turn charges by exploiting weaknesses or landing criticals, the Knight can act again after they've cast Proclamation. That'll let you input the Guard command before the Knight's turn is over. This will stack the backline damage reduction and the Guard mitigation to turn enemy onslaughts into slightly awkward tickles. You can even make a more offensive damage absorber by switching to a warrior, for example, and using skill inheritance to give them the Knight's Proclamation skill. Then you'll have one character that can function as a powerful physical damage dealer on the front line or a tanky damage absorber on the back line. Another thing you'll want to do as soon as possible is get a healer up to level 10. That completes a quest for Moray in Academia. One of the rewards from that will unlock a new feature in the main menu, giving you access to the archetype modification screen from anywhere in the game. This lets you unlock new archetypes during dungeon exploration or access skill inheritance. The skill inheritance shortcut is a bigger deal than you might expect, because that lets you change up your equipped skills or unlock new ones out on the field. That way you can jump in the menu and switch up your skills to counter specific enemy types that are right in front of you. When exploring a new area, beware, the minimap does not reveal every passageway. You'll need to use your actual eyeballs on the environment to visually spot some hidden paths that lead to otherwise inaccessible areas. Also, using the Phase Sight ability will highlight these passageways with a nice green glow, so keep a lookout. You're going to need a lot of mag to unlock archetypes and pass on skills. Other than just completing battles, there are a few ways to gain a little extra mag. For one, as you progress through the game, periodically check the big face statue in town. As you rise in popularity, the statue will spit out some bonus mag for you at specific intervals. Another option is to take down Elementas, which will try to run away from you when you get close. They'll also escape from battle if you don't destroy them in one turn, or leave them stunned so they can't act. If you manage to take them down in time, you'll get a huge chunk of the mag resource at the end of battle. If you instead need more spending money, you can convert mag into money at the mag broker. The conversion is better for you if it's raining that day though, so maybe wait till the weather changes to make the most out of this shady exchange. Different vendors and NPC interactions will change depending on if it's day or night. Like in this market, more vendors will show up at night with special wares for sale. If you head into the calendar, notice that Idol's Day has an ongoing big bargain sale if you're looking to buy stuff. Also, you can sometimes get freebie items from random NPCs. Talk to everyone you come across that has this little speech bubble above their head, and they might just give you a nice little free gift. In the corner of the main city, adjacent to the Honeybee Inn, you'll find a shop that only opens at night. This place sells a couple of game-changing accessories that you can snag early on if you save up the monies. The Praetorian Cloth reduces the turn cost to half for activating Guard. The more expensive Phantasmal Doll, on the other hand, has a huge bonus, especially if you find that you're favoring one specific character. Equipping this will let that character act 2 times in a row. Use that with a caster to heal the team and cast a damage spell, or just attack twice before moving on to the next character. Going back to the Knight's Proclamation combo, this double turn accessory allows you to jump to the back, draw aggro, and guard before moving on to the next party member. Okay, those were just a few things I hadn't yet covered in my previous Metaphor video, which does have different stuff in it, by the way, if you haven't seen it yet. Also, a big thanks to SEGA and ATLUS for sponsoring today's video, and I put a link at the top of the video description to get Metaphor ReFantazio. There's also an extensive demo you can download to get a feel for it, and progress carries over to the full game. Check it out. Alright, thanks for watching, I'm Alex, and I'll see you in the next one.